computer. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of the Here I Am podcast. I am Anjay, also known as a dork who lifts on the TikToks and the Instagrams, and I am here today with the amazing, fantabulous, one of the most badass women I have ever come across. Don't laugh, it's true.
That's how I laugh whenever I get too many compliments. You can't say things like that to me.
We had like a little like pre-show meeting and I was like, okay, so we're probably gonna, just open conversation, but I guess you didn't realize that I hype the person up, whoever I'm talking to, but it's never lies. It's all 100% truth. Miss Megan Rose, who is also known as _ Stone Cold Weirdo, but you spell it backwards.
Ocelots, something ocelots.
Yeah, I was like, I am not gonna attempt to pronounce it because my brain will literally fall off. Not just out, just off, just roll away and be like, I am done. I quit. Bye.
Like pack its bags and just be like, no, I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, but if there's any time for it to do it, this would be it. I
very much appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. So first, jumping out of the gate right now, you just recently got hit with 1 million followers. Like you just hit that 1 million mark. How did that feel when you hit that milestone of a thing?
Weird, super weird. It's hard to describe because like I'm someone who like out of sight, out of mind, like object permanence is a real thing. So like whenever someone had to put it in perspective for me once, where they said like I think I was like at the 800 mark or something, and someone said, "Well, imagine that's like 8 football fields full of people," and I was like, "Oh no." It's like that's so many people. Oh my God, that many people see my shit. Oh, that's not good. Like,
yeah, right.
I post a lot of really personal things. Oh shit.
Yeah, I remember when I was in like the 200 like the 150 like 200,000 mark, people were all like, dude, that's more than like a lot of cities in California. And I'm like, okay.
Right. It's easy to like see a number and just like pretend like you don't actually understand how grandiose that is until someone puts it in perspective for you and you're like, oh shit. Like I don't know what to do with my hands. Like,
so has that ever like really kind of like messed with your head on terms of like how you feel in like every like in your like your day-to-day life, like walking around and be like, I have like 1 million followers, but like this person here probably has zero idea who the hell I am, or they might know who the hell you are?
yes and no. Like I will be completely honest with you. I have moments where I allow it to get to my head just for a moment where like I've had someone look at me in public and I'm like, oh no, do you know who I am? Don't look at me. Like stop it. But then like that's such like a I don't know, like thinking highly of myself, like that person would know who the fuck I am. They're probably just looking at me because I'm weird. Like, it's not because like,
Yeah.
they know who I am. But no, it's for a while I didn't tell anyone I had a TikTok for a very long time until people just started discovering it. And I was like, well, cat's out of the bag. Like there's no like I can't keep this under wraps for long. But like people would like, I don't know, whenever people started discovering it, I was like, are you sure that's me? That's not me. That's no.
Have you had like complete strangers come up to you and be like, oh my God, I've seen you on TikTok, or like go like, are you on TikTok?
I've had it happen 2 times in person. One of them's really the first time it ever happened is amazing. I'll tell you about that. And then one time, actually just the other day, it was really sweet. I was in this like resale shop, like reselling like some of my kids' clothes that don't fit them anymore. And I was walking out and this woman made eye contact with me and had this moment where I was just like, hi. And then like I just kept moving. And then I literally like 5 minutes later get a message on TikTok. She's like, I'm pretty sure I just saw you in the store. And I was like, yeah, that was me. I was like, you should have said hi. But no, the first person to ever recognize me was my lawyer one time. I walked into the room and she was just like, I know you. I was like, we've literally just met. And she's like, oh, TikTok. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Okay. Hi.
And you're like, and now you're my lawyer.
and now you get to know all the super personal other things about my life. That's great.
Yeah, I've been recognized twice. And both times incidentally happened at the gym, which is fine. Like my handle's a dork who lifts, but I almost never post any lifting content on my page. But That one time I was in the sauna. The first time I was in the sauna, and then
You were in the
like
sauna?
I was in the sauna, and like I'm just sitting there. Whenever I'm in the sauna, I don't have like headphones in. I'm just sitting there trying to zone out, meditate, like recover, and all that stuff. And like these two women come in, and they look at me, and they're like, "Are you on TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah." I got so scared. I was like, "Uh oh." I was also like, "What do I do with my hands? I don't know what I'm doing. This is really awkward." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we've seen you on TikTok." I'm like, "Cool, thanks.
Oh yeah.
Did you follow?"
I
I was
guess like do you hate me? Do you like me? Do you not
yeah,
give a shit?
like is this like a good you saw me on TikTok or like a bad
Yeah.
you saw me on TikTok? And then like the other time, this dude came up to me and he was like, you know, when I first saw you here in this gym, I thought you were the biggest douchebag of all time. And I was like, okay, fair. And at the time I had my hair was a lot longer and I had it up in like a little ponytail. And like, he's like, you got a man bun. I thought you were like the biggest douchebag of all time. And then as I was like brushing my teeth, I was flipping through like TikTok and then your video came up and I'm like, I know that guy. He's at the gym. And then he's like, and then I started going through your content and I was like, he's not a douchebag at all. He's just a dude who's been
Aw.
through like, I was like, thanks. And I was like, but I was like, and honestly, I, until you told me that, I would have had zero idea if I thought that you knew I was if you thought I was a douchebag or like I wouldn't know that, but
Like you're
thanks for
not
telling me.
yeah, like it's like you don't know what other people's perception of you is. Like it's hard to yeah. I know what you're
Well,
saying.
I mean, but I can also get it too because like I wear uh at least once a week I'll wear a shirt in the gym that says I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. And if they are not a Harry Potter fan, I can see how that will totally look like I'm a douchebag.
How are there people that exist in the world that don't know that phrase? That don't know that's Harry Potter? That makes me really sad.
Even it does say Harry Potter at the very bottom,
Oh
like
my
in small
God.
fine print. But literally every time I wear it to the gym, I'm walking around going like, man, I could seriously look like a douchebag right now if whoever sees this has zero context to what this is.
Hey, to be fair, that's on them because that phrase is literally put on coffee cups, it's put on shirts, it's put on
It's
everything.
on
So
everything. Yeah.
if they have not come across that in their life, then they are just living under a rock. All right? That's just it's Harry Potter. Come on.
No, 1000%. So I remember how shocked I was when I found out that you followed me, and I was like, "Wait, what? This is a thing? Like, what the fuck?" And then I remember going through your content, and what I love seeing about you and your content is just how authentically you are. You're just yourself, and I can easily understand why so many people are drawn to you because we live in a society in a world where especially on social media where it's so easy to um put on a facade and like my life looks like this and in the reality
Mhm.
it's nothing like that. So what has brought you to having that kind of confidence to allow yourself to just to be your authentic self?
Oh, that's such a big question.
I'm a big guy, so it happens.
Well, and also like I loved whenever I found out that you followed me back because I genuinely love your content, Anjay, because you speak from your heart and everything is just so like genuine and just raw. It's just so raw. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like you can tell like you've like been through some shit. So I was like, yeah, I get this man. I get him. Like I was like I understand.
Okay, you're a guest on my podcast. I'm
Oh,
supposed to
sorry.
shower you with
Oh,
compliment. No, I'm just kidding.
apologies. Apologies. I take it all
No,
back. No, I'm just kidding.
no, it's very sweet of you. You're like, no, I take it
No,
all back. You're a giant asshole.
you're just a dick. No, you're a douchebag, remember? No, just
Yeah.
kidding. No,
I
okay.
should have told him he was right. Sorry.
So story time, a little bit. So I had a previous account that was just under Megan Rose, but it was Megan Rose backwards, surprisingly. Um, and I posted a lot of stuff that was much more just like stuff about my kids and just like kind of all the lip syncing. Like it was never like I didn't have the confidence to post original stuff. And then last year, like right in like the end of May, like I had this massive, massive heartbreak. Like someone that I just never saw it coming, like hit me like a ton of bricks. And then had like a really personal issue come up. And it was like two of these like really traumatic events that literally happened within like a 2 week period. And I deleted my old account and I had planned to be off of TikTok. And I went like a couple weeks um just kind of like not having a TikTok. And then I was like, okay, I'll just download it. I'll just download it and just like just flip, right? And then I don't know, like I just had so much angst and anger and frustration and stress and just all this shit happening in my life that it just like forced through this like just not give a fuck anymore. Just I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna scream at the camera. And if people like it, then they like it. If they don't, then I'm gonna look like a crazy person. And it turns out it's both. So
Well, I mean, for me, that was essentially like the same experience for me. Because when I first downloaded TikTok, I was just like, okay, my friends are telling me just get it to, help scroll and just take your mind off stuff. And it was like peak quarantine when everything was happening, right? But the thing was when everybody downloaded TikTok. And then one day after like 2 weeks of scrolling, I was just joking around like, oh, I could fucking do this. And I got pretty buzzed. And then I was just like, fuck it.
of course, yeah.
And then I was like when like the story time trend was like super popular, and I just did like a random story time, and then like it hit, and I went, the fuck is this? But it wasn't until like I hit a point where I was just super depressed, and I've been battling depression for a really long time, and I didn't realize that I had PTSD until I really started learning about it, and I went, oh fuck. And and it was from when my mom passed away and everything like that. And so I was just really struggling with like my mental health and depression and shit like that. And I had like a point where I was just like, I need a vent. I have no one to vent to, or at least like, like when you're in that deep part of depression, you feel like you have no one to talk to, and like no one gives a fuck because no one's checking in, no one's saying hi.
Well, you feel like you're annoying people with your like if you talk, yeah, like you almost feel like it's going to be like people are not going to care, people are not going to be able to sit there and just listen. You go on and on and on, so you just convinced yourself that it just nobody wants to hear it, like nobody wants to listen to it. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, you're totally right. And then I also had like as a man, it's, dude, just shut the fuck up and man up right now. Just fucking man up and handle your shit. And it's taken me a long time to realize how toxic that mindset is. But so I just literally just went and just let it out and put it in. I don't give a fuck. I'm just posting this. And then it hit and it connected and it resonated with a lot of people. And I went, oh, is this a thing? It's just kind of like,
right.
Like, and then, and then it just kept me turning into like, all right, going through rough moments. And then I had a rough breakup. I had like not long after that. And it just kind of kept like spiraling from there. So yeah. And then now it's turned into like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna be me. And that's kind of like where like this podcast kind of sparks from, like the Here I Am podcast. Like, here I am, deal with it,
I like it. Yeah, I had so my very first TikTok, I'm not sure, it's the one where I'm yelling about how she's not crazy, asshole. Have you seen, I'm not sure if you've seen that one. I said, she's not crazy, it's just trauma, asshole, or whatever. And that actually was inspired because I've been called crazy so many times in my life just because I over communicate. I have to have full transparency. I have to have full honesty. And I've been told so many times that that's crazy. Like, oh God, like it's too much, right? It's annoying. Like and needing to know the whole truth is annoying. Like, how dare I?
Yeah.
And that person, that heartbreak, he cheated on me with like 3 women in 4 days. Like, honestly, like I'm sure some men would be like, oh, damn. Like,
I know men who are probably like that, but it's also, I think for a lot of other men, it's like, are you fucking kidding me, bro?
Right? It's like, how? Okay, no. This is gonna make you roll your eyes even harder. 2 of them were at the same time.
So you just had like a casual threesome? Well,
Just like a super casual one. Yeah, like within 4 day period. Yeah.
a cash menage, you know.
Yeah. I mean, over the course of the last year, because this was obviously last May when this happened, I have done a lot of soul searching and a lot of just like, therapy and everything. And I kind of realized over time that I'm pretty sure he probably has a sex addiction or something like that. But that's a whole nother issue. But no, so I think we mentioned talking about this, but I have herpes, I have HSV1, and so did he. And whenever I found out about these three women, I was like, so you either use protection or you told them that you have herpes, right? And he just was like, that's not my responsibility. It's like, it literally is. Like, it literally is. Like, I don't know whose else's responsibility that is. So, this is where the crazy part came in. I took it upon myself to message all three of them and let them know that they were exposed to herpes. And I didn't do it in like a really catty bitchy way. My first message was, and then I edited it. But I was like, I was not given the respect of being told. I just found out like in an OB's office, like it was surprised. I was sprung on me. Like I started bawling and crying in a OB's office. And so I was like, I'm not going to do that to these women. Like
Yeah.
that's insane. Like that they deserve to be given the respect of at least knowing that they need to go get, tested and everything. So, he started spreading around that I was crazy, that I was a crazy person. And I just like had so much fury because I was like, there's nothing wrong with what I did. There is nothing wrong with what I did. All I did was tell those women that they were exposed. I didn't talk shit. I didn't call you names. Like I didn't do any of that. I just said, hey, these are the facts. Please go take care of yourself. Like,
Yeah, I think for him it was like an ego shot or something, like some bullshit like that, where he's just like, bitch, you're making me look bad. And it's like, well, first off, you cheated.
it's like
Like
you
that's
make yourself look bad.
like you can't tell him that. That's gonna yeah, and maybe he's just afraid of like like I don't know if you ever seen the movie Wayne's World, but it's like, well, you tell two friends and then they tell two friends and so on, and then he'll
Mhm.
never get laid again. Fingers crossed. Um, was he the one that exposed you?
No, 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 no. I had it before. I had it before him.
Oh,
And so here's a moment that like didn't resonate until later, right? Like until especially this happened, where whenever he and I first got together, first started dating, I this is a lesson I learned in the process of dating with herpes, is never ever tell somebody in the heat of the moment. Like never tell them when you were like mid making out, mid heat, because that's not really being fair to that person, because people don't make sound decisions in moments like of passion. So that's
yeah,
not fair to do that to them. So I've made it a point to where like I'll disconnect and like, walk away, or like, you know, disconnect from the moment and make sure that like everything's calmed down, and then have that conversation or have it way early. Point is, he and I got intimate quickly, and I didn't have a chance to even really tell him. And then, so in the heat of the moment, in passion, I told him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, me too." But like, it wasn't until later on, especially when this happened, that I was like, "Oh, okay." He was never gonna tell me. Like, he
yeah,
was never gonna tell me. He just told me because I told him. But it didn't. It's crazy that my brain never recognized that until later.
yeah.
Like, it's crazy that, I mean, there are a lot of red flags that I overlooked, but there's a lot of red flags I overlook all the time. So it's not the first time.
Well, I think I think a lot of people like ignore red flags. I mean, sometimes when like you just get really attracted to somebody, it's really easy to put on those rose-colored tinted glasses and be like, all I see are flags. They're all the same color. And it's,
Red's my favorite color.
yeah, I look good in red, girl. I look good in red. Um, like seeing out, you're like, that's why I got red hair.
Yeah,
I'm a walking red
I'm
flag.
just a walking red flag.
No, but
Yeah.
no, I totally get it. I know I've certainly done the same thing, and that comes from like my own like anxious attachment style, like
Mhm.
being Mr. Uh pleaser, because I'm like, oh my God, you think I'm cute, like you think I'm handsome, you're giving me attention.
Oh my
Down.
God, that's me. That's
Yeah,
me.
like I'll give
Yep.
you the you don't have to do jack shit. I will pour myself into you. And if you just breadcrumb me a little, I could use it because I'm trying to drop some weight. So breadcrumbs are fine. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm good with crumbs. It's oh my
yeah,
God, I love it.
I just want to look good in my two piece, you know? Um,
Oh my
but
God. It took me a long time to realize that I do that exact same thing. That like the moment anyone just showed me attention, like I was just like, oh, like I would like eat it up. Like I was like, yes. I was like, you love me, you like me. Oh, like it's not necessary, you know, like it definitely makes you overlook red flags because you're just so happy that someone's showing interest in you that you don't even you'll be like, I don't know. I used to do this thing where I would convince myself, I was a huge people pleaser, and I convinced myself like not to judge them too quickly. Like it was unkind of me to
Mhm.
judge them for, past things. But, you know, then of course
Well,
you're,
me personally, I think like we can be in moments now where like somebody can tell us something and we can recognize the red flags and just be like, oh, okay, this is where you're at in life. I can't meet you there. Like I can't
exactly.
meet you
It's
there.
like I'm not judging you. It's just that's not something I'm looking for. That's just not,
Yeah.
yeah, like we're at different places in our lives, or we're just at different, we just, we just don't mesh well. And it took me a long time to realize that it's not a judgment. It's just you are deciding to bring this person into your life. You know what I mean? Like it's not that you're judging them, but you do need to decide for yourself if that's what you want because it's your life. It's I don't know. Now I'm
Then
rambling.
no, 100%. No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I recently got out of like a situation where, I understood wholeheartedly how difficult of a time that they were having. And then me being the person that I am and understanding wholeheartedly about traumas and just I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be here for you. I'll give you I'll give you affirmations. I'm gonna hype you up. I'm gonna be there emotionally. You can talk to me about anything or whatever. I'm here. But what was starting to bother me, and especially with a person with an anxious attachment style, was that I wasn't getting anything back.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I was really struggling, it'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay. Or I would notice like they weren't asking me how I'm doing or how my day was going or anything like that. And I can understand like, you're in a bad headspace, you don't really want to talk, or like you're not even like thinking about anybody else. But when it was starting just to become like that one solid pattern, no matter how long we were talking, I just kind of had to go, I can't do this to myself anymore. Because
Yeah.
it was just driving me up the wall. I was losing sleep. I was just like, do they like me? They tell me they do, but then like their actions are showing this. And I literally have zero ill will towards that person, like none. I've told them I wish you the best. I hope you heal. I hope you're able to come to like a better peaceful place, especially because like how difficult their traumas were. I'm like, I get it. I understand it. It's all good. But it's for me, I've learned to love myself enough to be like, hey, this is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. And it's for me, like it's not a lot. I like you. I communicate. I want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. I care. But I'm also like not one of those people where I'm like, no, you need to text me all day, every day, every second of the day. I'm like, if I know your job's crazy or busy and like you're just on the go a bunch, no worries. That's cool. But like still, I want to have some kind of conversation, some kind of dialogue at some point throughout the day. And I just want to feel like I'm supported. I want to feel like I'm okay to be myself. Like I don't want to have to feel like I have to be someone that I'm not, which is where I got into trouble in all my other previous relationships, because I felt like I had to be a certain way for them to keep liking me.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yes, I resonate with that so much. It wasn't until I recently, within the last 8 months, decided to go cold turkey, just no dating, no dating apps, nothing for the first time. This is really sad to say, but like since I started dating at the age of like 16 or 17, like I have constantly been like chasing after something, some type of void that I was trying to fill, that
Mhm.
it took me, you know, uh, in January, whenever I just had like a massive trauma happen at once, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. Like I am so exhausted. I can't continue to put myself out there and just continue to meet the same person over and over and over and over again. And there was this saying, or this phrase that I heard where it said you're going to continue to date the same person over and over until you learn that lesson. And that's what I was doing. I was just dating the same person in a different, meat suit. Like, and so the last 8 months, I have decided to be single and just really, truly be by myself. And I've completely forgotten where I was going with this. How did I start talking about this? I'm so sorry. My brain squirreled.
No, girl, don't worry about it. Me too.
What? No. What did you say? You said right before, and I said, I've learned that. What was I? Damn it! Stupid brain.
I was
I'm
talking
sorry.
about one of the things that I've learned from dating was I was trying to be someone that I wasn't and trying to
Yes.
people please them, like trying to be someone who I thought they would want instead of being my authentic self.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. So within the last 8 months, I realized like I don't even know what I like. I don't even know how I like to dress. I don't know what I like about myself or like
Mm,
what I like to do, what I like to eat, because I've always just been trying to be someone for someone else, you
mm-hmm.
know, just trying to like I think the last person I dated wanted me to be this super feminine person who was just always on at all times, like had my makeup done and everything, and I was like just super overly just I don't know, like super tight clothes, and I was like, I hate that. That's so uncomfortable. That's not who I am. I am not a lady. I am not not even in the slightest.
You're not a
So it's
lady. You're a woman, and we're gonna hear you roar. I don't know where that came from, but okay, I'm gonna roll with it.
I like it. No, you just more like that. No, yeah, it's been an amazing 8 months of just kind of figuring out that I'm okay by myself. I don't have to be with anyone else in order to be happy. But it was it was a tough hump to get over there because every single time I tried to be alone, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel natural. And I think I made a TikTok about this. I make a TikTok about everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the
and
hard part about being a content creator. It's like, all right, I gotta think of something, and then that's where we kind of pull from our own lives, where it's just like, all right, I'm gonna just spew on this right now. Continue. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. No, my best friend is so annoyed because literally I'll be mid conversation and be like, that's a TikTok. And she's like, damn it, Megan. Like, like it is. But I made a TikTok about this where I had come across there's crazy how much I've learned about myself on TikTok. Whenever like at first before I got on there, like everyone said it was just like a teenager's app, right? And now I'm like I've learned that I have like CPTSD and ADHD and like I have dated nothing but narcissists and like it's yeah. But anyways, hold on, my brain did it again. Uh
Oops, I did it
did it
again.
again. Okay. Uh no, but I learned that part of the reason why it was really, really hard for me to be alone is because I was so used to the chaos of being like just being surrounded by kind of narcissistic-ish people over time,
Mhm.
and it's pure chaos that every single time it was calm and peaceful, it didn't feel natural to me. I was comfortable in chaos, right?
Yeah,
And yeah. And
yeah. I,
so
I was gonna
yeah.
say a lot of people are like that,
Mhm.
especially like when you get into like a person who's only dated narcissists or anything like that. If you meet a man and let's say you meet a man and you start dating and you're like, wow, there's no drama, there's no
It almost feels
whatever.
boring,
Like
right?
this isn't
Mhm.
love. Like this isn't love. Like this isn't what, and it takes a long time to like to realize that like no, that is what that's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like super hectic, pulling your hair out and then having like these like little kind like small moments of peace and then chaos again. Like that's
Mhm.
not what love is, and I think a lot of people, at least I know I've struggled with that a lot.
Yeah, it's not grandiose, I've been told within the first couple weeks of dating, I've been told so many times I love you. I've been told like you're my soulmate within like the first couple weeks of dating, and it's crazy to me that for a long time I thought that genuinely is what love was supposed to feel like. It was supposed to feel like this instant, just chaotic, insane fairy tale type story. and it's just not.
Yeah,
It's just not.
I've definitely had relationships like that where like it was we said I love you very quickly,
Hmm.
like very, very quickly. And the reality is like I don't even think that's what it was. I think we were just both high off of whatever energy we were giving to one
An
another, and it just felt
infatuation.
it's a
Yeah.
major infatuation, not so much like a I really love and care about you, because it's like we don't even know each other.
I know,
We're
right?
saying this shit. Did you feel like when you were in those like lulls of dating, or like where you're like you kept trying to get into relationships, did you have that feeling where you needed to, if you were in a relationship, then you were validated and you were normal?
Oh God, yes.
You
Oh,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
Oh my God, I need it. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm single right now. I need to be with I need to have a partner like now. Otherwise I won't be accepted by society type
Oh
of thing.
yeah. All my worth was derived from whether or not I could keep a partner. Like in my mind, for some reason, not other people. Like I envied other women or men who were capable of like really making themselves stay single. And but I genuinely told myself, I was just like, that's just not for me. That's just not who I am. And then it took me a while to realize it's like, oh, no, no, no. They've probably been through as much trauma as you have. And they just finally got to that point too, where they're just like, nope, done. Or, I mean, there are those enigmas though who are just able to do that from right out of the gate. And, you know, those people, I don't know how they do it. Probably had much better childhoods, but
Bastards, you
best.
fuckers.
How dare you have fantastic parents?
how, how dare you be raised with love and support and
How
constant affirmations. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. For me, it was like for me growing up, like I was the fat kid. I was always fat. Like in high school, I was pushing like 400 pounds. You know what I mean? And there's like this dude on TikTok now who I envy him so much because he has the balls to do it. Where he's a big dude, and he's literally on the street and he's asking these really gorgeous women, "Would you date me if I was skinny?" And every one of them's like, "I'd date you right now."
Aw.
And I was like, fuck, where was that when I was
Damn it.
when I was younger? Because I was always under this mentality like I had to lose weight, I had to get like 6-pack abs, I had to be ripped like a bodybuilder or whatever. And then turns
Mhm.
out when I did do that, I work out all the time now and I'm strong as fuck, but I am nowhere near as lean or ripped as I used to be, which that was like hardcore eating disorder that I had, and major horrible body dysmorphia. But like it didn't make a difference because like no matter who I ended up being with, it never felt like I never believed them. Because in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm not lean enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not this, that,
It
or
was
the
never
other.
enough. Yeah.
It was never enough. And then that was like a big struggle. And then like, a lot of battles from memories from childhood and thinking I was never enough. And so I'm at like, it's taken me essentially this past year, and I'm 35 now, so it's taken me about over a year of going to therapy and really working on loving and accepting myself as I am now. And I love myself and I accept myself more now than I ever have in my previous life. And so for me, dating wise now, it's very like I'm trying to be a lot better about um being honest with like how I'm feeling. So if I have like my moments of insecurity, I can go, hey, feeling a little insecure right now. I just want to touch base on where we're at or anything like
Mhm.
that. And I'm really, and that's where, like I said, like before, I'm really looking for that person who has understanding and kindness and can accept me. And I try to be upfront about like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is where my mind's at. And,
Full communication and transparency. Yeah.
full communication and transparency. And then I've hit this point where I'm like, if that's too much, there's that like too much, find less. And it's like, all right, cool. Cause like I know who I am as a person. I know the kind of heart I have, the what kind of lover I can be, what kind of supporting partner I can be. And like if you can't reciprocate that back at least a little bit, or like
Match your energy. Yeah.
match my energy.
Hmm.
And if you can't do that,
All
all
these
right, cool.
phrases we've
Like
learned
it,
from
yeah,
TikTok.
all the TikToks. But it's literally just kind of like it's taken me a long time to go, I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty awesome. I'm strong as fuck. I'm a dork. I like sports. I can talk about my emotions openly, which I find is rare, and I wish a lot more people were able to do that and felt comfortable in doing that and like ending whatever stigma it is. Because, like you were saying, like you had partners who were like, "Bitch, you're crazy," and it's like, no, I'm talking. Like
I'm
I'm
literally just want you to tell me the truth or be honest, or I'm trying to voice I do the exact same thing because I'm not exactly sure when it started, but I've always been someone that just like desires full transparency, but I allowed other people for a long time to make me feel like that was wrong, like that was too much. And in order to keep a partner, I needed to stifle that feeling. I needed to not communicate. I needed to not be transparent with people about how I was feeling. But then, of course, you're not going to wind up with the right partner then because you're going to wind up with people who are looking for someone who isn't going to ask questions. Like it's the people who benefit off of things like that. So, I mean, not necessarily that every single person was, but you're not going to end up with the right person if you're not fully being yourself, if you're not being able to be fully comfortable and communicate or be fully transparent in the way that you need to be. Like you're never going to, if you're compromising that part of yourself, you're never going to find that partner. So
no
yeah,
100%. Um, I
yeah.
wanted to ask you when you were going through like your I guess even now when you're going through like your singleness, and I know you've been in like tough narcissistic relationships, what have you done to, so that's like a two-part question. What have you done to like work on yourself, to like really work on loving yourself? And then after that is, I know a lot, when you date a narcissist, a lot of trust issues arise.
Mhm.
So how do you navigate that in terms of being able to trust someone again?
So, okay, so I'm gonna try and so the first part, like what have I done to kind of work towards that, right? Well, I will say this me being single in the last 8 months I've done the most work in the last 8 months than I have in the last 3 years of being in therapy. Um, my ex-husband and I split up in July 2019, and that's a whole long, sad, traumatic story in itself, but I very quickly started to try and fill that void again, right? So I never even really fully worked through that trauma, and I just kept compounding the trauma,
Hmm.
right? I just kept adding more and more and more. And so I was never fully, even though I was going to therapy, I was learning all these things, I was never really able to heal from any of it. I was just continuing to do the same exact things I've been doing before. Um, so within the last 8 months, I finally have been able to really have more in-depth conversations that I've needed to have with my therapist that I was never able to have before because we were always talking about the newest trauma, the newest thing I was going through, right? And so being able to really get down to the nitty-gritty of eye-opening realizations I've had about family and people that are even
Hmm.
closest to me has allowed me to learn so much more about myself and maybe the reasons why I am the way that I am, and allowed me to become stronger because I know like okay, I do this because of this. And so I know that this is like I'm a people pleasing doormat because I was brought up to pick my battles, and by that never pick any battles. And
Yeah.
and so it's just being able to work through those things and really be able to finally focus on the much deeper issues has allowed me to um really step I don't know, really I don't know, like just be able to break through those and like know like okay, like I don't have those are traits from trauma responses. Like that I don't have to continue down that route. I can be the stronger person that I know I can be, and the trust thing. I don't know about that yet. Still working on that part to be fully
Yeah.
honest. That's a I recently tried to like talk ish to somebody or something and like immediately realized I was like, nope, too soon. So like I'm
That
really proud of myself for recognizing that and being able to be like, nope. Mm-mm.
no, that's beautiful. That's great self-awareness. I think one of the biggest things that, I think I know when people ask me, like, I remember when I first heard like the term like self-love, I thought it was literally supposed to be like one day you're supposed to go, "Hey, I love you." and to yourself, and then you're
Right.
fixed and it's done. And you're like, no, I'm not going to be like toxic positivity. No being sad, love yourself. Everything will be happy. You're good. Like that's all you have to do. And it took me a really long time to realize like, no, it's a fucking lot of hard work. And, you know, I have this phrase that I came up with that I tell everybody, where it's just like the longest relationship you're ever going to be in is with yourself. So you got to treat that bitch good. Right.
Yes.
And learning like what you need, what you like, and being kind to yourself, especially when you're having like the really rough days. And that's for me where it's turned into like, you know, I know whenever I'm in my deepest depressions, or like I have moments where like say I'm missing my parents a whole lot and I can't I don't feel like I can talk to anybody, or I'm just sitting there sad. I'm like, I just wish someone was here to support me, but I'm a man. I'm not supposed to feel that way. And it's like, no. And it's hard for me to like hit that point of allowing myself to be vulnerable with somebody. And then for me in therapy, I've just kind of discovered that like you eventually just kind of have to take the leap of faith and trust your gut and your instincts, and knowing that like, you know, the signs, you know, the warning signs, you know, whatever, and have the strength and the courage to go, nope, fuck off if it's getting broken, type of thing, you know. I was gonna go somewhere else, but my brain just went.
Your brain squirreled.
Yeah. uh but it's just it's you know and it's just one of those things where it's I think for people to understand like self-love, it's you got to start small, and then just start slowly building up. And I know for I know there's like a lot of guys out there who struggle. I saw a TikTok, and I just love how like this whole conversation keeps going back to TikTok,
I mean, it
but
all right.
it's
We're
kind
both content creators. Of course it is. Like,
it's corn news. But there's a woman made this video, and I couldn't have agreed more. And so like, there's a person I'm currently talking to, and they have been in some really shitty relationships, and she has a very strong fight or flight mode, where like very avoidant attachment style. And you know, anxious and avoidance always kind of like find each other anyways. But I'm anxious leaning towards secure, and I was just like, hey, I get it. You've dealt with some really shitty guys. It's hard to trust if any man is being honest with you, if they're being genuine with you, if they're talking to you in that way. And so the video that I saw was, it was like it's like the nice guy paradox, right? Women want to date the nice guy. The nice guys never approach the women, because the nice guys here don't approach me, don't talk to me. I don't want to be approached or whatever. And the nice guys are the ones who really, they hear you,
and
they
they respect
respect
that.
you, they respect that, so they don't approach. And then the guys who do approach, that end up dating anyways, because it's like, oh, well, no one's approaching me, this guy did, I guess I'll give him a shot. You know what I mean? And it's just like this like endless weird cycle. And then like, that guy can end up, I mean, sometimes a miracle might happen and it just works out and then happily ever after. I don't want to I'm not one to try to say like, I try not to live in absolutes. There's always some room for some gray area.
Right.
There's always like that circumstance. But a lot of those guys, you know, they get into the relationship with a woman, and then breaks their heart, and then it's like, well, fuck, no one approached me or whatever. And again, it's just like that endless cycle. I know that for me, that was like the biggest struggle. And I've heard a lot of times, I guess I'll ask you this question, but like I've had a lot of women go, I just want a guy to be assertive, and then just say like, hey babe, we're going out, we're doing this, or we're doing this on this night, and we're gonna go have a good time or whatever. Like take action, right? And I think that I understand that, of like yeah, but in my head, I'm always sitting there going like, yeah, but I want to make sure that they're comfortable. I want to make sure that they're cool with it. I want to make sure that like, I tried to be like very understanding, like, hey, are you doing anything on this certain date? Do you want to get together? Do you not want to? If you're not, it's okay. It's cool. But it sounds like it's very like standoffish, or like, man, this dude needs to make up his fucking mind. But I've talked to enough women where I understand the hardships of their past. So like I'm always like, I want to do everything on your time and make sure that you're comfortable with it. And so I don't want to like talk to somebody and be like I don't want to be like, hey Megan, you, me, Friday night, we're going on a date, we're doing it, right? And then, but if you're like in nowhere near that kind of a headspace or whatever, like, maybe dude, we're just talking, like whatever, fuck off. I don't want that response. I don't want the no, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I see, and I see in the way that I hear that whenever women say that, like the way that I perceive that is I think that yeah, they want someone who's going to be assertive, but it's more of like a hey, like what are you doing Friday? Do you have plans? Like I'd love to do something with you. Like that, like more of that kind of assertiveness, like not you, me, let's go. It's more of like a showing interest, like genuinely like wanting to just be with you in some way. Like even if you're not going out, even if you're just like coming over and watching a movie or something. Like it's just like, hey, Friday night, are you free? I'd love to see you, kind of thing. You know, like it's more of just expressing how much you would like to spend time with them, like hey, I'd love to see you, kind of thing, like just showing genuine interest. Because like we've talked about, like so many people are just so like nobody speaks their mind, nobody says like hey, I like you, or hey, I, you know, and like matches their actions with their words. And so it's always like, well, I think they like me, I don't know, maybe, you know. And I know there's been so many instances where I've been talking to someone and I feel like we basically turn into pen pals because
Mm,
nothing ever comes of it.
yeah.
I think I actually made it made a TikTok once where I was sitting around. I know I was sitting around doing the same old thing where, you know, I was given the well, maybe we'll go do that tomorrow, like or Friday or whatever. It's like maybe I'll let you know,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. It's the
Yeah, yeah.
uncertainty shit. Yeah, yeah.
It's the I'm gonna see if I can find something better to do, and if I don't, then I'm gonna call you. Like it's that, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, and I was really proud of myself. I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna go to a movie by myself. So I went and saw Spider-Man by myself, and it was fantastic. So it's I don't know where I was going with that. Um I
It's
they
the it's the it's the it's more of, instead of trying to make you an option,
yes.
be like, hey, on this day I wanna wondering if you want to do something. So I do that. I'll do that. I don't go
Hmm.
like, so maybe kind of sort of possibly we might be able to do that. But like a lot of the things that I was always hearing was um like, I want a man to do like this specific thing. Now I'm very like, I could be like, I'm very I don't go, hey, date time. I'm like, hey, this day, are you free at all?
Hmm.
And then if they go, yeah, and then that's when I go, okay, what time? Like, when are you free? What would you like to do?
Yeah.
That type of thing. I don't go, okay, cool, you're free on this day. How about like at this time we do this, that, or the other? Because it's very, I know with like my schedule, I always assume that everyone's busy. I assume that everyone's busy. That's why like I'm really horrible about reaching out. I'm really horrible about like when I'm struggling reaching out or anything like that, because I go with, oh, they're too busy to deal with me, or they're too busy to talk. So I know with my schedule, I'm like, okay, I can finagle my schedule any way that I want. What's your that? And this is where like the people pleaser in me comes out, where I'm just like,
Yep.
when are you free? And then I'll figure it out. Like I've had instances where I'd be like, okay, I want to do this kind of date with you. I want to do this and that. Just tell me when. Like, when are you
Yeah.
free? And then we'll make it happen. But it's always just kind of like a mishmash of things. And again, a lot of the people that I've noticed that I tend to, I guess, attract, or I get attracted to is and this might be something for me to delve into further in therapy and everything, is if I see someone hurting or they've been through like really rough relationships or anything like that, I try to be like the antithesis of that,
Hmm.
where so like, and a lot of people, well, some people like slide into my DMs or whatever, and it's just because like they see my emotional side and they'd be like, oh my God, this guy gets it. Like I resonate with his stuff. And sometimes it's a lot where I'm just like, I don't know if I could necessarily be that person that you're looking for, or that you're hoping for, but like I get it.
I know what you mean.
um yeah, and then if I do connect with somebody, then I go, then it's really easy for me to like go full in with it because I'm like, oh, I connect with you. I understand where you're coming from. I want to do anything that I can to make sure that you don't feel that kind of pain again, because I understand what that kind of pain feels like. And it's like that old, I butcher this quote all the time. It's like an old Robin Williams saying of like, I know what it's like to feel like the most worthless human being and like the saddest person in the world. I don't want anyone else to feel that way. So I'm going to do anything in my power to
Yeah.
help you feel the exact opposite. And then that's where me pouring into people and going like, no, like, or me giving others like affirmations and like hyping them up and doing all these other things for them is because I'm like, I know what it's like to feel like shit. I don't want you to feel that way. But my issue always ends up becoming, I don't receive any of that energy back. And that's where I
Yeah.
guess in terms of dating, where it's like, look, that's what I'm looking for. Like I've always been okay with pouring affirmations into others. And it would be nice if I could have it back. And for the longest time, I couldn't accept it. I think I'm in a place now where I can accept it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, I mean, you saw me in the beginning whenever you were saying nice things, and I was like, oh my God, stop talking about it. Don't say nice things. How dare you? Um, I've been the same way for a very long time. Where like I get those DMs too sometimes where it's people just kind of pouring their heart out. And to anyone who is watching this, if you've ever sent me a DM and you poured your heart out and you're like, I can't believe she didn't respond to me. If I am in a headspace where like I am like, whoa, I can't take that on top of like I'm not sure how to respond to that. Like I can't connect with that, or I don't resonate with that, or I just honestly don't. I feel like anything I say to you is just going to sound silly. Something I say to you
Yeah.
is going to sound just so cliche, like, oh, you got it, slugger. I don't know. That's not what I would say. But you know what I mean?
I'm
Like
gonna
it's
do that
just
too. I'm gonna pour my heart out to you in a DM, and then I'm gonna pray and hope that you say you got it, slugger, and I'm gonna be like, cured. Just
do it.
it's
That's happening now. Just
as
just
soon
pour
as
your heart out.
as soon as we're done recording, I'm just gonna
Okay.
be like, dear Megan.
Just be like, here, and just say, here is my heart. And I'll just be like, you got it, slugger.
I'll write you like a letter, like we're like in ye old English, and
I love it.
dearest
I love it.
Megan, it is the ninth. It is the night of the 27th of July. I sit here pondering my life in a candlelit room, wondering where it all went wrong. I think of when I was born,
Oh my God.
and my mother doth put me up for adoption.
I feel like I'm in a Jane Austen. That's amazing. I better
And
get
then,
that message, by the way.
and then you're just gonna be like, "You got it, slugger.
You got
Like,
it, slugger.
I'm
Yeah.
cured."
You're going to be cured. I'm going to cure you. You're going to be just fine.
Every
Yeah.
therapist in the world is gonna be like, I gotta start using that line from now on. Just you got it, slugger.
Oh my God. No. Okay, this is completely out of left field, but it just reminded me of this story that I feel like you'll appreciate. So back in January, I okay, I'm gonna have to tell you something really personal. Can I tell you something really personal and like just tell you how crazy I am? Um I was sick with COVID for a week.
First off,
Okay.
hold on. I just want to say it first off. You didn't even let me respond. You're like, "Can I tell you something personal?" I'm just gonna tell you anyways. Right here.
I'm just gonna do it. It's like I mean that's such a rhetorical question. It's like I'm gonna tell
Could you
you.
imagine? Could you imagine? I was like, "No, please don't. This is a podcast where we're not supposed to be ourselves and talk about our lives and
Please,
experiences and
please
shit."
shut your mouth. Don't you dare say anything. No,
You've
okay,
talked
so
enough. Okay, this is my show.
okay, this is gonna show. Okay, this is so embarrassing. This is so bad, but it's hilarious. The end result is hilarious. So I was sick with COVID for the like for like or I think it was I don't know what it was because I genuinely got COVID for the first time like a couple weeks ago, but I don't know what this was, but I was sick as a dog. Like I like started hallucinating at one point because like I could not keep anything down, and I was just like, anyways, I won't get into the details of that, but I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning convinced that I was pregnant. convinced. By the way, was not physically possible because like menstruation and things, like it wasn't possible, but I was convinced I was pregnant. So I took a pregnancy test because of course I have one. Why would I have one? I don't know. I haven't. Anyways, took a pregnancy test, convinced myself it was positive, called my OB, made an appointment, went in. It was not positive. I'm a crazy person. She was like, she came in the room and she has taken all 3 of my kids out of me. All right. So she knows me very, deeply. And she was like, Megan, our tests aren't matching what your test's saying. Are you sure? And I was like, and I just started like being like, I just started crying a little bit and I started telling her, and then she like scooted the nurse out of the room and she was like, Megan, it feels like you're spiraling. I think that you need to be alone for a while. I think that you really need to love yourself before you love anyone else. Like, oh, like we had a full-on therapy session. And then I was like this aha moment I had. And that's honestly what spurred me to be alone for the last 8 months, was like my OB telling me like, bitch, stop. And
So you thinking that you had like the second coming of Jesus inside your belly made you go, I think I need to be alone for a while.
yeah, no, but I'll never forget it because I went to my therapist, Liz, and she was so pissed because I told her what my OB said. And she's like, I've been telling you that for a year. And she's like, I've been telling you that exact same thing. I was like, you have? And she's like, she's like, you're paying me. It doesn't matter, whatever. But still, like, I've literally been paid. No, that's not what she said.
You're like, I've been putting my kids through college telling you this. And it just takes one trip to the OBGYN who doesn't have like the degree that I have.
No. Like, I'm legit.
Like, it's because she was like, hey, girlfriend, you really need to work on yourself. You never called me. You never said, hey, girlfriend to me. You didn't say you got it, slugger to me.
Yeah. You didn't end it with you got it, slugger. Okay. That's what sealed it for me.
Okay. This is what I want you to do. It now that when you talk to your therapist next, you really need to be like, we need to end every session with you got it, slugger. I'm going to feel so much better about my life.
She's going to tell me to fuck off. She's awesome. She's just going to be straight with me. She's going to be like, no, we're not. I'm like, I'm going to do it. She'll be like, and you're not my patient anymore.
You're like, no, we're gonna do it. You have like a mirror with you, and so at the end of the thing, you just hold it up. You got it, slugger. It's like that old there's like an old SNL sketch where like this dude God. Like turns into the mirror. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's all like,
yes,
like, gosh darn it, people like me.
That's an old. That's from like the 90s too.
That's
I think
early 90s.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, because he was that guy that had like that super aggressive smile.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Oh, I was a big SNL fan until it kind of went a little off the rails there in the last like decade. But like the years where it was like Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon and like all like that crew of people, like that kind of was my favorite.
I like how we're going on an SNL tangent right now, but I think everyone I think everyone's favorite SNL cast is whatever cast they grew up with.
True. Solid point. Because it's gonna whatever you're growing up with, their show is going to resonate most with you. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like, there's like some great SNL stuff now, but like a lot of people are like, it's just not as good as it used to be. But if you think about like what they're doing week in and week out, and like how many sketches they have to come up with, and like they're working till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning every single day and trying to put on a live television show every single week. I bet if you rewatched some of those old SNL shows from your favorite cast, you're gonna see episodes where you're like, that wasn't that good. Like that was actually not. So there was one
that's actually as funny as I thought. Yeah.
There was one sketch that my brother and I thought were like the funniest freaking thing, and they never put it on YouTube until like recently. And then you kind of watch it back and you go, oh, I see why. But it was with it was like Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, Mike Myers, and it's Jason Alexander. Jason Alexander was the host that week, and they go to get they go get some like keto sandwiches, right? And then so they're eating it and they're like, oh, this is really good. And he's like, you know, I think I can get mine needs like a little bit more juice, right? And so he goes up to the counter and he's like, hello, my friend. I'm like, what can I get for you? He's like, oh, can I get a little more juice for the sandwich? And he goes like, uh, he's like, you like the juice, huh? The juice is good, eh? And he's
Oh,
like, yeah,
geez.
it's very good. Just a little bit more. And he's like, you're just a little too dry. You want a little bit more. And it's like that stupid stuff. And that bit just kind of kept going. And they're like, oh, can I get some ketchup for my fries? You like the ketchup, huh? The ketchup is good, eh? And then like the sketch ends, spoiler alert for anyone who's like really gonna go look this up. Like David Spade comes on and he's all like, hey, we need to end the sketch now. He's like, you want us to end the sketch, huh? The sketch is too long, huh? It's just the same joke over and over again. He's like, yeah. He's like, okay, I end the sketch.
Okay, we done. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, my dad's favorite is whenever Eddie Murphy played Gumby, he's like, I'm Gumby, damn it. Like, and he'll just say it all the time. I'm Gumby, damn it. And I'm like, or Jane, you ignorant slut. Or but he says it to my mom, and I'm like,
Yeah, my dad laughed at that one a lot.
yeah.
It was actually really funny because like my dad would have never have said that to my mom, but I would, and I did. I would call like my mom and I's relationship was like no other. Like we would like there'd be like moments where like I would walk into a room or she would walk into a room and we just look at each other and she'd just go or I would go, shut up. And just that would be it. And then like I remember when I was taking care of my mom, you know, I would say some like really inappropriate things to her just to make her laugh, just because I was like, I just want to make you laugh. You're struggling, you're blah, blah, blah. I want to say some like ridiculous off the cuff shit to do that. But one of the things I always told her is she made me a Detroit Lions fan. And I don't know how knowledgeable of sports you are, but they are a really shitty football team. And like
did not know that.
Really shit. Yeah. Oh my God. It's bad. So like, and I'm in California. So people will be like, you're a Lions fan, but you live in California. Like, how?
And they're not
like,
even that great.
Like, how did you become a Lions fan? And I was like, bad parenting. And it's because my mom's
Terrible
from Michigan.
parenting.
Yeah, my mom's from Michigan, and then so that's how that connection ends up lining up. But so my mom made me a Lions fan, and then so like I would tell her from time to time, I'd be like, Mom, you are so lucky I never called child services on your ass for the psychological damage that you have done to me by making me a Lions fan. You bitch. And again, how many people would actually like call their mother a bitch? I'm like, I did, but but it was always like saying it out of love. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're never like being like dicks about it or anything like that. But I don't know how we got on that tangent, but we did. And I'm okay with it.
People ask me all the time, like people like say in comments or something, be like, do your parents know you talk like that? I'm like, yeah, like actually I'm probably worse in front of them because who do you think taught me to be like this? Where do you think I got this from?
Yeah, like, I have a bit of a cussing. I cuss a lot, and I learned it from my brother, who learned it from my mother. So, and my mom was an elementary school teacher. Like she taught second and third graders, and so like during the summertime, when we got to like August-ish, we'd be like, all right, Mom, we got to start. You're going back to school soon. You better start working on.
You gotta turn fuck back into fudge, and oh my God.
Yeah, like son of a gun.
That's hilarious.
Gosh darn it.
My mom loves to pretend like she doesn't curse. It's really funny. And but like this woman, I swear to you, this was like a constant joke in our family, because if you called her while she was in the middle of traffic, she would answer the phone mid cursing someone out. And she would she wouldn't address you until she was done with her rant at like there have been so many times where she answered the phone and she would yell, see you next Tuesday, but she didn't say see you next Tuesday. She said cunsicle. But like, and I would just sit there, and it just got to the point where I would just be like, just sit there. Oh my God. There have been times where my dad has called her with a client. He does residential remodeling in like the upper scale Houston. And like he's called my mom and had her on speakerphone. I don't know why he would do this. And like had his customers listen to my mom just like go off the rails. And now whenever I like curse in front of my kids, because I teach them not to curse at people, not to do it in a derogatory, negative way, but like like I don't attach morality to it. And my mom's like, oh, Megan, you can't curse in front of them. I'm like, woman, what? Stop pretending like you.
Mom, you taught me to cuss. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you fucking bitch. I mean, Megan, I would never. I love that you said cunsicle. I think I need to add that to my vocabulary. And then it also sounds like a really bad pickup line waiting to happen.
I would be so curious how you would use that in a pickup line. If you figure it out, you have to tell me.
You want to know what my favorite flavor of popsicle is?
Oh God. Cunsicle.
That's the first thing that came to mind. That's the first thing that
Oh my God.
Everyone's gonna stop listening to this podcast now. I'm gonna lose all my subscribers. They're like, fuck this guy. That's supposed to be about this is supposed to be about mental health and talking about life, and it's turned into talking about cunsicles.
Sorry guys. This is important. Cuncicle is important to mental health. Okay, it makes you laugh. All right.
Exactly.
There you go.
We're just getting the endorphins flowing. That's all it is.
We're bringing it around full circle.
Full circle. Mm-hmm. In college, I was in a show called Full Circle, and so every time I hear that term "full circle," it always just like immediately brings me back to that. random tangent about my life.
Squirrel.
What?
What?
Who?
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you have kids. Mm-hmm. How has that been? So when you deal with dating and being a single parent, do you find it difficult on trying to bring someone new around them all the time, or do you like set like a boundary of like, we need to be dating for X amount of time before you even meet my kids?
So I'm going to be real honest with you. In the very beginning, I probably introduced people to my kids way too soon. Like not like a week or anything. Like it would be like a month or two in, but like for me, it was way too soon. And for them, it was way too soon, but it was a lesson I had to learn, in the process. And so now, I have definitely gotten to where I'm like, okay, no, there has to be a set parameter of time, because you don't even really get to know somebody until X amount of months, or what have you, whatever amount of months you put on it as a parent. I'm not gonna mine is about 6 months, but but for some other people it might be different, no judgment at all. But you really want to, I've learned that like it's unfair, especially to my kids, to like have them meet someone and then they'd be like, wait, where'd that person go? Like, we're, and I mean, I was never like physical with anybody in front of them. It was always like, this is my friend, or something. Like, it was never like, I'm dating, this is my boyfriend, what have you. But there was one person I dated for a really, really long time. And this has like brought on like a trust issue now, which sucks. But as a single mom of 3 kids, like, I dated this person for about 9 months, and I thought we were really, really serious. And it turns out, like, in the very end, he came clean to me and was just like, well, actually, I knew it was never going to work because you have 3 kids. I was like, why did you date me? Yeah, I was like, you dated me for like a really long time. I met your ex-wife. I met your kids. Like, he had kids. Like, I'm like, what? So yeah, it's hard because unfortunately, there are people who will date you and not be upfront about that aspect. Like, not be upfront about the fact that like they don't plan on like furthering it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're not honest about that fact. So
they're just hoping to stroke their ego. Yeah. Like, if you think about it, I mean, really, like,
no, it's exactly what they're doing.
That's what it sounds like, where it's like, oh, I just want to get laid or whatever.
Yeah, get it in for
like
a couple months, and yeah.
I don't ever understand that. Like, I mean, I'm a man, like, I get wanting to get laid and everything like that, but it's also like not when it's like someone like you're involved with their kids and someone with kids, and of course it's like totally. And I granted, this I think that's but I don't think that's necessarily exclusive um to just being like a single mother in terms of that. I
Oh
know
yeah.
people where, so um I've talked with people where, they're stupid, silly, attractive, right? And it's literally like, guys will say, or there are, I'll call them guys because men wouldn't do this. Guys will say anything to kind of get in your pants, type of thing, right? Of course that creates like major trust issues, because it's like, well, I've heard all this shit before. How do I know that you're gonna be different? And that's where I guess, for like where I said the leap of faith type of thing has to come into play at some point, but it requires a lot of your own healing and recognizing your tendencies and red flags and a bunch of like self-work, I guess, to get to that point, and self-awareness to get to that point. And that
Trusting your gut is a huge thing too. Like I learning to, whenever your gut is screaming at you about something, like pay attention to it.
Yeah,
Your
100%.
gut instinct is trying to tell you. And every single time in the past couple months I have actually like paid attention to it, it's been steering me in the right direction. So
It's been spot on. Yeah.
yeah.
um and it is a hard thing to listen to, because there's like sometimes that brain of ours is just really effing smart and cunning, and we'll go like, hey, like, no, but there's this factor,
Mhm.
this and this, and your guts is going like, bro, no. Like, and then like when it all blows up, it's like, told you. But
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like
and so like, what I remember like I had a conversation with one, and I was like, no, like, people with fight or flight, like this person I'm talking to has fight or flight, and I was like, look, I understand it. Like, I understand where your trust issues are coming from. Like, you've had really bad relationships. Guys will say like all the nice, sweetest things in the world, and then you got fucked, and then you got fucked over. And I was like, yeah, you're dealing with a bunch of guys who are trying to hit on you, and it's just because they want to get in your pants. And she was like, yeah, you want to get in my pants too. And I was like, would I? Yeah, I would, but that's not my goal. But it's just because like
yeah.
I'm a guy. She's super attractive. Like, I'd be an idiot if she like offered and I said no. You know what I mean? But I'm also like,
Well, it's,
but
it's,
my
it's like it's like we both know I'd be lying if I said no. So like that's like it's not really a fair question to ask. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like,
no, I
duh, of
literally I literally
course.
just went, yeah. I was being blunt. I was being honest. I was like, yeah, I
Mhm.
would, but that's not what I'm after. That's not what I'm looking for. It like I it that saying like, I could care less, but it's like, no, you mean you could not care less? And I was like, I could not care less about meaningless sex. And I was actually like, in my head, I was like, I'm really proud of myself that I actually said that right. um just full disclosure of how my brain works.
Is that
But
how
I
it is
was like,
supposed to be? Could not care less?
yeah, because if you could care less, you would.
Oh, I did not know that. You just taught me something. I did not know that.
The more you
The
know.
more. I love it.
I'm gonna get a violation on YouTube from NBC going
Oh
like, how
God.
dare you?
Dare you?
How dare you? Um, Granted, I don't use any music in my background, so I should be fine. Um, but it's like one of those things. Like, yeah, like that's not what I'm after. That's not what I'm looking for. And then especially with like this person in particular, it's like you and I have like a different kind of connection, and that's why the times that they have shoved me away, I never got mad about it.
Hmm.
I was just really always really understanding of it. And I was just like, I get it. And I think that's what's really hard for people who have I might be too much, or this is too good to be true, or anything like that. And this is where, a lot of people, the ideal is always finding someone who's like a secure person. Like, the three attachment styles is anxious, avoidant, secure. The secure
Hmm.
person is like super understanding, and they're in that point of like, no, it's okay. Like, if you don't, all right, cool. Like, it's no, like, no, fuck off, bye, I'm done. And I think it's always easier said than done. And a secure person to date is really hard to find, because like most of the time they're already in relationships.
Right.
And but it does take a person who has a pretty good understanding of themselves, and an understanding of what other people, and have empathy towards other people, that can make whatever anxious or avoidant attachment style that you have a lot easier, because it makes you feel like, oh, I am not I'm not too much. I am worthy. Wow, maybe they really do love and care about me. Or like maybe they really do want me around. Maybe they do genuinely enjoy me as a person. And that's what's like so hard to find. And I've had people, I really hope this doesn't sound douchey as it's the thoughts coming in my head. I hope this doesn't sound douchey, but I've had a lot of people go like, why don't men like you exist? And I'm like, no, we do. We exist.
I'm right
It's
here.
there.
Hi.
No, not even me. Not even me. I'm covering the camera right now. Not me. This is not me.
Okay.
This is just we exist. It's just, it goes back to that nice guy paradox, and then that we talked about earlier. But it's also just,
we also have to watch out for the guys that say I'm a nice guy, because never mind. Continue on with what you're saying.
No. That's also a whole other thing. If you have to say that you're a nice guy, there's a good 99%, there's a 95% chance that you actually aren't. Or like, man, why can't the girls go after the nice guy like me? You don't have to say it like that.
Oh no, I had this really profound conversation with that ex that cheated on me, because for some reason I stuck around to try and like yell at him for a while, like to like try and desperately get through to him. I don't know why. Don't ask me questions about my state of mind at that moment. I was a crazy person.
Well, I just want to delve into that really quick. I think it's because he hurt you so much that you wanted to make him hurt just as much, and you wanted him to feel your pain.
It wasn't even that. It was me trying to explain to him how much pain he caused me. Me trying desperately to make him fucking understand and get it. And like, no matter what I did, he just didn't fucking get it. And I remember I was trying to explain to him why he wasn't a nice guy. And he was like, I am a fucking nice guy. And he was getting really upset about it. And I was just like, if the things you do that are perceived as nice are primarily to get in a woman's pants, are primarily done from a place of because you want to sleep with her, because you think that this is, a way to get in her, like, I'm trying to think of the right words I said it much more eloquently whenever I had the conversation with him. But essentially, it's like, that's from a place of manipulation. That's from a place that is not a genuine place of like, I'm doing this because this is who I am. And this is just a part of my being. Like, this is just my personality. I'm doing this because I'm hoping it'll get me laid. Like, that's a place of manipulation. And I don't know. It was like this really quiet sound, like just complete silence on the other end of the phone. And he was like, huh.
Like, you got through to him.
I don't know if I got through to him. I think he just was like, oh shit, she figured it out. Like,
well, yeah, but I think that, well, if anything, I don't know if you're like necessarily, you either made him realize what his actions were doing, or he's going to be like, all right, I got to find a new tactic.
I got to do it better.
I got to do it better. Yeah. Cause I know for me, like, I know I have said I'm a nice guy, but there was no manipulation behind that. It's like, no, like, let me blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I am. Cause that's just how I know who I am as a person. I try to treat others with kindness, and no matter, regardless of who they are. Am I perfect at it? Fuck no, no one is. You know what I mean? Like, we could all think about like how like nice and genuine that we are, but I've definitely been like, oh, I try to treat people with kindness, and then someone says that one thing, I'm like, fuck you, you fucking prick, or you know what I mean? And then it takes me a moment to go.
You have your triggers. You have the things that really set you off. Yeah. I have. Yeah. I had a video recently taken down because some guy messaged me and told me I have nice teeth. Did you see that one? He was like, you got purty teeth. And I just was like, this is such a weird thing to message somebody. So I made a video about it, and I was like, do you want to make a necklace of them? And people were really upset with me. They were like, what if he's just an awkward person? Someone said, be kind. And I was like, whoa, hold on. I do not have to be kind to someone because they slid into my DMs and said something weird. Like that, no, I do not have. But however, I can see how maybe this was perceived as maybe not like there's a difference between me not having to respond to him and then me making an entire video about it. You know what I mean? Like, I could have just like not said anything and just ignored it, as opposed to like, putting him on blast. But I was in a really chaotic mood, and I was choosing violence that day, and you
were being human.
Yeah. So I got to take It got taken down for abusive behavior.
That happens. I mean, I've also
Yeah.
seen like I remember I got like banned off of a live for a while because it said nudity and I'm like, I'm fully clothed. So okay, why not?
It's crazy that I've gotten videos taken down for nudity, and then I'll find videos of actual almost nudity, and I'm like, I was fully clothed, fully
Yeah,
clothed. Like I can see
I've
her butt cheeks. What?
oh no,
Like,
I've seen dudes that like literally the only thing that they're wearing is a towel over their dong.
Yep,
Like you
I've
could
seen
see full
those.
thigh, full like everything like that. And I'm like,
Yep.
and it's because he's won his what do I want to call it? Like his rebuttal on like a previous video of him being
Mm,
practically almost naked, where he's like, I can get away with it now because I've
yep.
already won this battle once. And so
Yep.
they're automatic. So if I ever get, so if you get, I don't know if this is necessarily true, but it's like, it seems to me like if he ever gets reported for that specific thing, TikTok's going to say, no, he didn't cross it. He didn't cross any of those guidelines or those boundaries. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's always like stuff like that. Like he's an attractive dude. It gave me major fuckboy energy, but but it was like but like you read his comments and the thirst
Oh my
that is
God.
in those comments,
Oh my God. Yeah.
it brought me back to like when I was younger going like, fuck, I need to get six-pack abs and do that for any kind of woman to want to be with me.
Yep.
And
It
no, it's
definitely
not
gives
that.
you a false idea of what being desirable means and being worthy, means. I think earlier you were mentioning like who you were in your teen years, who you were as like a kid, I hit puberty at like the age of like 10. And so I had a woman's body in like sixth grade. And so to
Mm,
all the other kids, I was fat, not because I was fat, but because I had boobs and a butt and hips. And like I had a body that like no one, like the other little teeny boppers didn't. And so like it was, like, I got called fat all the time. And so I was convinced that I had to, over time, by the time everyone else caught up, like it was like eighth or ninth grade, like I had been already convinced that like something was wrong with my body. Like this was not an attainable, body. This is not like uh the body that's anybody's gonna want. Anybody's going to, want to date me, what have you. And so for the next decade, I think I killed myself not eating fast food, not drinking soda, spending 2.5 hours in the gym all the time, and not really even seeing the number on the scale move
mm,
because I wasn't being healthy about it. Like it was coming from a really toxic place of like, I have to look and be like all these other gorgeous women, otherwise no one's gonna want me. And I was just talking to my friend about this the other day, and I told her I didn't eat fast food for like a decade, and she's like, "That's awesome." I'm like, no, because it
is it
wasn't.
though?
I was like, that wasn't like it wasn't healthy what I was doing
Yeah,
because I wasn't
yeah,
allowing myself forget. I wasn't forgiving myself for any missteps, for any moments where I was just human and
yeah.
just craved the fast food or craved the sugar or ate the things every once in a while. Like you can be a healthy person and still be able to indulge in the things like that in life.
And the
Like it
occasional thing, yeah.
but not even occasional. Like if you just enjoy those things, like it's I don't know. I love the fact that I had an argument with someone about this, like body positivity, right? And
Mm,
like
mhm.
just loving yourself. And they actually really hate toxic person. And they were like, well, no, like you shouldn't love yourself if you're big or what have you. And I was like, why? Why can't someone love themselves like just as they are? Like what
Yeah,
you can always, you know, do things to be healthy or do things there here and there, but like why aren't they allowed to love themselves just because you don't think like they look the way they should? Like that's not anyways.
yeah. It's not for you to decide. It's for them to decide. I remember like when I
Yeah.
was younger, when I was losing weight and everything like that, it was I would weigh myself every day and we were talking about the number on the scale, and it was like if it moved any way up, day was shot. If it didn't move at all, day was shot. If it went
Mhm.
down, glorious, great fucking day. I'm like, well, at least I lost a pound or whatever. And it was just like this like major relying on that. And then I think the last time I weighed myself was like maybe November of last year. Like my scale ran out of batteries, and I was like, you know what? Let's just not do this anymore. And just trying to go by like how clothes feel. And it was really triggering for me when I had to buy like bigger clothes and stuff again. And I was like, oh man, I'm getting fat. But then I had to realize like I may be really big again in terms of the number on the scale, but it looks so much different than it's ever looked before. So like when I got on my major like health kick of like I want to lose weight, I was 355 pounds. I used to weigh 400. I got a really bad flu that made me like not eat for like a month, and I lost a bunch of weight, and I just kind of hovered at there. And when I finally decided to lose weight, I was like 355. Okay, I'm gonna lose 100. Lost it in like a little over a year. Was a freaking stick, but I was like, I don't see abs, so I guess I'm not skinny enough. I'm not good enough. I got to keep going, right? And then even when I did eventually have abs, I was still like, I'm not lean enough. I was at like 7% body fat, and I was like, I'm
Holy
not lean enough,
shit.
not healthy. And I was just like
7%?
7% body fat, and I wasn't competing or anything like that. And I was just like, well, maybe I need to get down to like 3% to like look like those bodybuilder dudes or whatever. But I was just like, oh, it's never good enough. And then now I look at me like last time I weighed myself, I clocked in at around like 347. And I've gained since then. So I'm probably around the 355, maybe even higher now. But you give me some decent lighting, I have abs.
Right?
Like, no, but
The right angle?
no, it's literally like just give me some like I could just if I have my shirt off, if I'm not flexing, you don't see them. If I give it a flex, you can see it. And that's just because of how heavy I lift in the gym, how strong I am, especially with my core and like my core stability and everything that I've worked through and everything like that. And a lot of guys will look at me and like, no way, dude, we thought you maybe weighed like 270, 280. We never would have thought like 350 plus.
Because
And
you
I'm
have so
like,
much muscle. Yeah.
it's a lot more muscle now than it ever was then. If I showed you like my before picture and what I look like now, it's still night and day, even though it's the same weight.
See that I've seen pictures like that where I've seen like women or something that'll show like even like the way more than they did before, and their bodies look amazing just because they've just taken on so much muscle. Like but before they were like this stick thin idea of like what people tell you you're supposed to look like is like this rail thin thing. But I love the fact that muscle is becoming the new, because I don't know. I kind of wasn't really sure what I was trying to say there. Sorry. I do CrossFit, and I don't know. I know everybody rolls their eyes whenever you say that. But I did it. I've done it for about 3-4 years, and I was previously at a gym that fits the mold of what everyone thinks whenever they think of CrossFit. Where, and if any of them see this, I'm sure they're going to kill me for it, but it's accurate. Where the atmosphere was it was built on competitiveness. It was built on pitting everybody against each other, and it was the system where like you would put in your scores, and it would show you like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Like it would show you in a roster of like where you fell in the day. And so it was this really toxic environment where you were pitted against people. And so you focused more on doing it first than doing it right, if that makes sense.
Yeah, all
Like,
the
yeah.
all the bad form, all the
Yes. So whenever I split up with my ex-husband and I moved back closer to my family, my parents actually were going to they started CrossFit before me. They're the ones that got me into it. And they were going to this place here where they live, and this place, it's like a bunch of old married couples, and like no one gives a fuck about anybody else's business. Like they're like, just do your workout. I don't give, like, I'm just over here doing my business. Like no one cares. And the coaches are so focused on making sure that you have the correct form and you are doing it right. And so I've come so much further since coming to this new gym than I ever did before. And I've only been here consistently for the last year. Out of the 3.5 years that I've been doing this. 4, is it 4? I don't know. It's been a while. A lot's happened in the last 3 years. But like I've learned so much more, and I've been able to get so much further in it. And also just not, I guess, getting to that point where I'm not killing myself and I'm not beating myself up over tiny missteps, or having the occasional fast food, and like allowing myself to just indulge in shitty things sometimes and not having to be so strict about it. I don't know. I've actually lost more weight, which is interesting. Well, I also stopped drinking, which helped, but
No, yeah, that usually does help. But
yeah.
it's like when you were saying like that, like toxic environment, like I think there's a difference between like, some people do thrive in being competitive and they push themselves harder, but there's a fine line between doing anything necessary to win, and especially when it's like in a gym setting where the only thing that you get from it is like bragging rights. It's the difference between like, doing it just to do it versus like doing it as fast as possible with like the best technique possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you're not gonna get hurt and like you're not gonna die. I was talking to a dude yesterday in the gym. He was deadlifting and I was deadlifting, and um I'm like the strongest dude in the gym, and I was watching him deadlift and I'm like, you're gonna snap your lower back, dude. And I just kind of went up to him. I was like, hey buddy, do you mind if I just like tweak a little bit your technique? And he goes, yeah, totally, because he's seen me lift, so he's going to want that information. But
That's good that he was receptive to it, because some people can be really defensive and be like, no, mind your business.
so okay, I don't want this to sound douchey. I really don't want this to sound
It's
douchey.
like the third time you've said that.
I know, it's just because I'm very self-aware of how these things can be perceived and how they can come off. But
Well, sometimes being confident in yourself can come, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know what you're saying.
yeah, so I whenever someone tells me that I'm the strongest dude in the gym, I'm always like, no, I'm sure there's another dude who comes at another time who's a lot stronger. I'm the strongest dude who's there at the time that I'm there. Like, I don't see anybody lifting the kind of weight that I lift. Like, I have a 675-pound deadlift, right?
Holy shit.
I have a 635-pound squat. I have a 440-pound bench. I'm strong. So
just gonna casually throw out those numbers.
I'm just no.
Oh my
So
God.
when I say I'm the strongest dude in that gym in particular, there's plenty of dudes who are smaller than me who lift way more than me. Like there's people out there, but it's taken me a lot of time to like learn technique and to,
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason why like my back hasn't broken in half. It's because, and why I have whatever abs that do show is because I have like the strong core strength and bracing. When I was watching this dude deadlift, he was essentially doing like a straight leg deadlift with like 315 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey dude, when you deadlift, do you feel that in your lower back? And he's like, well, you look the next day. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to. Like, you're not supposed to feel it in your lower back. And I was trying to like tweak his I'm like, dude, your back is strong. And whenever I approach somebody on fixing technique and stuff like that, I'm really good about doing a compliment sandwich. Give them a compliment, correct the technique, and explain why. Because I don't want to just do it because I say. I always explain why, and then I'll throw them like, but dude, like your back is fucking strong. But if you do
some of
this,
the best coaches I've ever had are the ones who are able to make you feel like they're not coming from like a I know more than you place. It's just like I genuinely want you to get better and get stronger, and I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah,
like that's it. Yeah,
that's always my goal. I'm like, I just don't want you to die. Like that's my goal.
I just prefer you not to like throw your back out. Yeah.
I want to see you in the gym all the time. Like there's nothing more badass man or woman to see them in the gym and then just busting their ass and just trying to improve themselves. Like, and when you come in consistency, I love that. I've always had like a fear of approaching women in the gym because there's like they get sexualized, right? Every time I approach a woman in the gym, it's to never sexualize them or anything, or even like, oh, hey, I'm interested in you. Like, let's date. I just go, you're a fucking badass. Like, I see you in here, you're busting your ass when you work out, fucking keep doing it. And I've told women of bigger sizes that, I've told women of smaller sizes that. It's just because I know for my experience of what I've gathered or what I've noticed is that the gym for women can be a really intimidating place. And I try to make it like, no, like, fuck it, you're killing it. Fucking keep going. I've told women who are like in like their 60s, like, fuck it, go. Like, hell yeah, like you're working hard. I see it. And it's just to give people those reminders of like, sometimes we do things and you're like, oh, was that enough? Or is this like any, like, am I even like doing enough or anything like that? And kind of getting like that positive affirmation of like, no, like
Yeah.
you are working hard. It's no, like people are noticing, like we see these things. Anywho, really long
Yeah.
random tangent, but I was
No,
trying to
no,
like
no.
keep this person to like,
I completely get that. I like you were saying. So for women, like the gym can be really uncomfortable, and like when I started CrossFit, that was one of the things that drew me to it the most, is that it was everyone dying at the same time doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like no one was having the time to stand around and like gawk at you or stare at you or make you feel uncomfortable, because everyone was dying. Everyone was just trying to survive the workout. No one gave
yeah,
a shit, what your ass looked like, So like, and now the place that I'm at is, like I said, it's a whole bunch of old married couples, and all the married couples come in together at the same time. So like the atmosphere is so just like everyone doing their own thing, everyone minding their own business, everyone dying at the same time. It's really nice. It's really nice to, have that bond of just like we all just almost came this close to death together. So
it's
so
like it's like being in a giant cult, except the punch just had a little bit of poison in it, not
a
enough to
little bit,
kill you, not enough to kill you,
just a little
but
bit. Yeah.
make you see something new. No.
Yeah. I will say that to anybody watch, like, because I know that the bad rap that CrossFit gets, because I've been at that gym. I've been at that place that people, when they think of CrossFit, they think of this toxic community. I get it. Trust me, I've been there. There are places that exist that do not inhibit that atmosphere.
Oh
Because
yeah,
I'm at one now. So I mean, shop around. Don't just go to like, the first place that you find. Like if you get in there and you work out and you don't like the vibe, go find a different one. Go find a one that
yeah.
will fit it better, because I know that there's got to be more out there like this.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely that's almost like with anything in life. Like,
yeah.
not all people are the same people. Not all gyms are the same gyms. Not all, like, even like if you're finding like a therapist or a doctor, not all therapists are the same.
Yes,
Not all
yes.
doctors are the same. It's, even when you're finding a partner, like, you know what I mean? Where it's like not all men. Yeah, it's literally not all men. There's a good chunk
Yeah,
of men, but not all men are going to be like that or
yeah.
whatever.
Not all therapists, not all.
Yes, I'm just saying. So I have taken up a lot of your time, and I seriously appreciate you so much for doing this and helping me out with this little shindig of mine.
You're
But
very welcome. Thank you for
as
having
I,
me.
well, of course. As I wrap this up, I like to end every episode with this one question. And I'm a big proponent of counting our victories, no matter how big or how small. It's important to count our victories for the day. So it's either I woke up today, or I solved world hunger. Like that whole range of scale is possible. So my victory, or my question for you, Megan, is what is a victory that you had for today?
I solved word hunger.
Fuck, I knew you did.
I'm just
I got
kidding.
the email. And I was all like,
Yeah.
is this the same Megan? Is this the same one? There
No,
could be
I'm
two. You
actually,
never know.
it's actually a fantastic day to ask me that question, because I was actually super productive today. I kicked into high gear, and I just moved into this new house. It's my first place by myself since my divorce. Like I had to move in with my brother before in order to afford the area I was in. And so I'm in the midst of moving, and my kids' rooms have just been an absolute mess. Just like their clothes have just all been in like just laundry baskets and just clothes everywhere. And I keep meaning to get to them and organize them. We've been here for 2 months and I just haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that today. I organized their clothes and I put them away. I have 3 children, all of their clothes. So many clothes. So many clothes. So I was super productive today. So that's what I did.
That is awesome. My victory for today, I woke up not in like I woke up really tired, not in the greatest of headspaces, and I kept thinking of like all the shit I had to do today. And today's like so whenever I record on my days off. So, and on my days off, I work 6 days a week. So my days off are okay, time to take care of stuff around the house and all that stuff. Because by the time during the week when I'm working, I'm just like, I'm too fucking tired. I don't want to deal with this right now. Or like, who am I trying to impress by having a clean kitchen right now? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like really exhausted. So, I did something today that I almost never do, and I'm counting it as like a real major victory for me, is I took a nap.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I almost never do. And the only time I've ever taken naps is because my body just went, dude, you're done. Like
Hmm.
it's that moment where like your brain, if you don't give yourself a break, your body will do it for you in the most inopportune times. And I know that I've had days where I had so much shit I had to do, but my brain just went, nope, you are knocking out for like an hour right now
Yep.
because like I need it. And I did get a lot of things done, but it was still like, I was thinking about, okay, I got to record with Megan today, and I was like, dude, you should take a nap right now. And I went, okay, I will. I could have fought it. I could have fought it off. I could have just drank some coffee and caffeinated myself up and all that stuff. But I was like,
Yeah.
I have time. I can set a timer. Let's knock out for like a little bit. And I went, oh, okay. And then I was just kind of like one of those like, all right, dude, self-care. Look at you go. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Hell yeah.
I'm proud of
So
you.
yeah,
I never take naps for that same reason because I'm just like, no, just power through. Just drink that cup of coffee. Just make it to the end of the day, and no, yeah, I never take
yeah.
naps either.
I always struggle with relaxing. It's my
Hmm.
big, it's a big guilt for me. And because like, again, like I'm like, okay, I'm sitting and I'm going to relax. I'm going to watch some TV. Yeah, but dude, you should be folding some laundry. You should be cleaning your kitchen. You can do some vacuuming. You can do some dusting. You probably do a little more yard work that you didn't get done, or like all this other shit. But it took me a really long time to go like, no, this is important too. Like
Hmm.
this is important for yourself and your own mental well-being,
Yep.
you know. And
Oh yeah.
speaking of mental well-beings, thank you all for watching or listening to this. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you could please subscribe, like, comment, and share this. If you are listening to this on your podcast platform of choice, if you could just leave a review, subscribe, um, share it with anybody who you feel may like to hear conversations like this, and just kind of like this open, candid talking about mental health, and making you realize that you're not alone in this type of shit. And we all deal with stuff. So to all of you, I thank you so much. Megan, I thank you so much. You are absolutely amazing, and you're a peach for doing this. And to all of you out there, please continue to be kind to yourselves and be good.